Hello, it's Dr. Lindsay. And what I want to do in this video, oops, there we go. What I want to do in this video is go over the handout problem on stabilization with fiscal policy. So what I want you to do in this kind of thing is like read the situation and then try to draw it on a graph using the Keynesian macroeconomic models, a short run model and a long run model. So the country's at war, the economy has an unemployment rate of 4%. That's full employment. And full employment is probably anywhere between 4 and 6. No one knows exactly how much, but that's probably full, maybe a little beyond full, maybe outside the PPF a little bit, but either way, certainly no cyclical unemployment. So draw the situation using the aggregate supply, aggregate demand model. Well, the intersection then should be at potential. Here's Y potential, real GDP right there. So we're pretty much right at it on the PPF. Maybe the intersection might be beyond it. And the war ends. And the government spending on the military decreases. So government spending falls. That means aggregate demand is going to have to fall. It's going to shift to the left because G falls. We're going to have a new equilibrium. And the new equilibrium is going to be at a lower level of output and a lower level of inflation, according to this model. And as I said once before, this actually happened after the Korean War. There was a recession. Interestingly enough, after World War II, economists were predicting a recession because they said all the government spending stopping after World War II would decrease aggregate demand, we'd have a recession or a depression. Didn't happen. And lots of economists, some famous economists, had egg on their face for predicting a recession, depression. That didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Don't know. The only thing I can say is other parts of aggregate demand must have increased. The soldiers came home, started finding jobs, buying homes, buying cars, and the economy actually did very well. So what would we expect to happen from this in the long run? Well, use the long run model to figure out what's going to happen in the long run. And in the long run, the aggregate supply curve is vertical at potential output. We've got this downward sloping aggregate demand curve, which I will try to draw such that the intersection is about right there. And in the long run, what happens when the government stops their spending? This could be thought of as a shock to the economy, a negative shock here, decreasing aggregate demand. The war is suddenly over and aggregate demand decreases. But when we get to that long run equilibrium, and that may take a while to get there, and when we get to short run equilibrium quickly, long run equilibrium may take a lot more time to get there. But the result will be in the long run that the inflation rate would drop because of this. And what about the next question here? 39, the economy is still below potential. And Roosevelt says Thanksgiving is going to fall a week earlier. And the result of that, whether he intended this or not, is to give people more time to go out and spend for Christmas. So what was he trying to do? Maybe, although I doubt he was really trying to stimulate aggregate demand, because Keynes' book really hadn't been really picked up and started to been used yet. But it might have been a good way to increase aggregate demand for Christmas. So if we say, well, here is aggregate supply, here is aggregate demand in 1939, and we were still somewhat in recession because we'll draw this that the output is less than potential. And giving a little more time to spend money. And remember, aggregate demand is C plus I plus G plus net exports. More time to go out and spend money might increase consumption. That would increase aggregate demand, might stimulate the economy such that it might help to get closer to full employment and shorten that negative output gap.